is quite airy. Sorry, I was re-steaming it, so the bottom got a little bit wetter. Okay, hi kitty cats. So today, one of my favorite things that I like watching on YouTube is people making bread. And while I don't always like making buns, I do enjoy watching it. And so I'm going to be making buns today. So today we are going to be making flaxseed buns. Flax seeds are great because they provide a healthy fat. Not all omegas are good, right? You need a high omega-3 ratio to 6. And 6 is kind of more of the inflammatory omegas like grapeseed oil and a lot of oils. But the omega-3 is really what you want. So things like flax seeds, things like walnuts. How we're going to use flax seeds today is almost like flour. So we're going to grind it up. I'm going to be putting in spelt flour because I've kind of been experimenting with buns lately, and I like how spelt feels. I mean, I'm not too big of a stickler for this. Like sometimes I do combine just normal, white flour with something like a flax seed because flax is so hardy and so it will make everything dense. But if we're going to keep it whole food plant-based, then I kind of like spelt because the gluten is what do they call it? A water-soluble gluten. So it is, in many ways, it's a lot softer than normal bread dough. And when you knead it, it functions a lot more like a gluten-free dough as well. So I really like that. So that is what we're going to be doing today. And stay tuned. Stay tuned for the end because I will be trying a bun for you so that you'll know what you're going to be making and how it'll taste like. Spelt flour, ground flax seeds, Let's see how much flour I need first, because I might not need all that flour. So the thing with spelt is that it does feel a bit like a gluten-free dough in that it doesn't spring or it doesn't kind of stretch and then spring back the way that normal gluten flour does. Even though it has gluten, it has a different kind of gluten. I believe it's soluble in water. So it has definitely a different feel to it. Okay, so I have, what do I have? 3, 6. So I'm gonna let these prove one more time. I think that they are just a bit dry. So just so that they don't crack, just a light layer of water. The way to decorate these that I have seen is to actually put 2 kind of stripes on each one. So we'll do it on this one first. Looks kind of like this.
To survive this steaming.
All right, so I have one of the end piece buns here, the ones that are like not perfectly cut, but you can see that they are like they can be airy too. Like even though we have the flax in there, we have this like wholemeal spelt, it is actually quite possible. And last time I made double the recipe, but the same amount of pieces of dough. This time I just made them so small because I just eat them small. But I think if you made them bigger, you're gonna get a bigger kind of more pillowy effect. It's simply that there's not a lot of dough here, so we're kind of eating it a little bit like crackers. No, just like little cute little cakes, but in bun form. So you can see it is quite airy. Sorry, I was re-steaming it, so the bottom got a little bit wetter. But yeah, okay, great. Okay, yeah, let's try it. It's very reminiscent of like when you go to the grocery store and you just get a loaf of like whole wheat bread. That's kind of how it tastes like. I think flavor-wise, it's nice that we added a little bit of miso in, because last time I just did spelt, flax, and water, and there wasn't really a lot of flavor. This time you can kind of, it's like a savory, grainy flavor. But what I would really like is actually a little bit of sweetness to it. I was debating on whether to add a little bit of date sugar, just because I thought it would make it a little bit heavier, but I wouldn't mind a little bit of like sweetness in this as well. So that's kind of the flavor. It's like the flavor of grain, so the flavor of wheat, or the flavor of like even oat, like that little bit of like grainy sweetness. And then just a little bit of salt. So it is on the savory, more savory end of things. And then texturally, it kind of tastes like just like a more dense bread, like a cross between a bread and a cake is how I would describe it. And of course, you get a little bit of like the nuttiness and also the texture from the flax seeds. But yeah, it just kind of tastes like a multigrain bread. Like there is a fair amount of flax seeds in here too. So you could probably play around with the proportion of like spelt to flax, a little bit more, a little bit less, according to your liking. But in terms of having this like accompany a meal, like, you know, like congee or noodles, or maybe filling this up and turning it into an actual bun, that could work too. It is just a denser bun, as whole food plant-based buns are. But yeah, I kind of, yeah. All right. See you all again next time.